Welcome to part 2 of Washington Watch, the Hollywood edition. As you see the sign behind it says Black Hollywood. We've been hearing a lot about gun violence and how we need stronger gun control laws and better ways to identify and treat the mentally ill before they get access to guns. But there hasn't been enough conversation about those things that create a culture of violence in our society, like the images we're exposed to every day. We're talking about that today with some folks who are part of the industry that brings us some of those images. They are Rockmond Dunbar, who stars in the upcoming film. He also directed it. Pastor Brown, sitting next to him, is a beautiful sister, talented, smart, gorgeous, all those things. Dondre Whitfield, I know that's your wife, but chill. I'm giving her props. Salli Richardson is also producing Pastor Brown, stars in it. Also, actor, writer, and producer Phil Morris. And Miguel Nuñez, you will see him, the star of the new TV1 series, Bells. Folks, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, it's been interesting of watching this whole debate. First of all, I hate most of it because it is a gun control debate when I think it should be a gun violence debate. And it's weird. Whenever images come up when it comes to video games and movies, folks go, oh no, that's not the cause of it, it's this. As opposed to saying, wait a minute, it's a number of things. What role do you think violent images, whether it's video games, whether it's television and movies, plays in this whole gun culture in America?
I think if it's a violent image without instruction and understanding of the image, it can be dangerous. But it's like my children who have grown up in this industry, they've seen me on movie sets, they know it's a movie. They know it's a video game. It doesn't cross over into their real life because they've been instructed and shown that that's fantasy and that the reality of it is grave and very dangerous. When you instruct it that way, the images have less impact.
And that's exactly what I was thinking. I have two small children. I have a little boy who's 4 who goes around shooting all things over the house. My husband, unfortunately, plays the shooting games, and he sees it. But my son is probably one of the most gentle, kind kids at school with his friends because he's got that good home life that can balance out those images. And I think the real problem is that these kids who don't have a good home life, then that is what's taking it to that other level because they don't have anybody to buffer that image for.
Is it also controlling the amount of time spent when it comes to those images? Because look, the guy who was the shooter in Newtown, I mean, before that happened, I mean, he literally was in the house watching and playing these games for hours and hours and hours, as opposed to an hour, maybe 2, then it's take your behind outside, go kick a ball around.
But he also has a mental problem, too, so you're just...
Precisely.
Precisely. Everything is it should be taken in moderation, and everything should come with instructions. You know, my coffee machine came with instructions that I have to follow or it's going to be broken. So you have to give instructions on how to use a gun properly, why you should buy a gun, you know, what are the situations, what are the dynamics around these guns. You just can't have these images and throw them out there and use them carelessly. Like we look at the image of black on Hollywood. Why isn't it black? I'm just saying, why is it red? It just seems a little bit negative towards black Hollywood
when kids come home, and like you said, and they come home, they have nothing to do but sit and watch violent video games, and they don't have the other side. I think that does desensitize them to violence. And you guys keep mentioning, and I was listening to, they keep saying he had a mental problem. Well, up until then, I understand he was a great church-going kid, and he had no problems whatsoever, unless I've been hearing things wrong. And every time we want to associate that with a mental problem, I don't think he had a mental problem. It has nothing to do with the mental problem. I don't hear nothing. They said the guy went to church. He never did anything wrong. He was nice. He was loving to everybody. And then this happened. I think that, you know, it's easier to say it's a mental problem. But of course it is at the end.
Something off.
Of course, something off.
But something off.
I think that, and like you said, Roland, I think it's an accumulation of everything, and everybody can't just say it's this or that.
I think the danger, and this is what keeps, again, just driving me nuts, is that when we somehow believe there's this one thing, oh my God, if we just fix that one thing, hey, it's all solved, as opposed to, guess what, it might be, yes, moderation in terms of what we see in terms of images. And then it might be universal background checks. Then it might be mental illness. And then also when it comes to anger management, when it comes to conflict resolution in schools, all of those things, this is why it's just driving me crazy, the discussion that we're having, because it is so one-dimensional that I don't think that, fine, Congress passed a law, President signed a law, but unless you deal with the other pieces, we're back to the same place.
We're still gonna have problems.
We need to get all of the pieces of stories that we hear that are conflicting about certain gun shootings. We need to get all of the information that's true before we even have an opinion on it.
In your jobs, I mean, have you been in a situation where you said, you know what? I think that might be too violent, and so therefore, let's change it up. Let's modify it, but I can't go that far.
I'm also the creator and executive producer of Bells, along with Ed Weinberg, and we did Sparks together as well. And everything I've ever done, I've always been conscious of how that may be portrayed or misconstrued or so forth. I am always concerned with that. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever done anything really with guns because I'm kind of against it. So.
It's a responsibility issue. Have I been a part of projects that have had violence in them? Sure. But there's a meet in the middle thing that you're talking about. We have to step down the access to guns and step up the understanding about them. It's not one or the other. It's a full circle routine. And it has to do with parenting. Sally's right. If you get good parenting at home, not only don't you want to go out there, but you're representing your family. You're representing your parents. You're representing their lessons and what they've taught you. And I don't want my parents to look at me in an ill light. That kept me straight for a long time. And I don't think kids have that these days.
My son just at the table the other day got mad at his sister and just went like this and just hit her on the chest. Let me tell you, my husband grabbed him so quick and took him out of the room.
Thank you.
And that's there now.
Okay, hold on. See how she stopped that? No, did he spank him?
No, we don't. You know what? We don't spank.
Oh,
hell no.
No,
hell no.
Hell no. No wonder he made it Red Hollywood.
Right.
No, that's what's missing.
That's why he smacked his sister.
That's what's missing. If my grandparents, the way they beat us, if there was a gun in the house with candy and they weren't around, if they'd have put candy, diamonds, we would have never touched it because we knew what would happen if we did.
My children, out of every single kid that comes over there, are the most well-behaved children, and everyone says
just happy
it.
no everyone's
That's
skipping
all I'm
over
just
that,
letting you know.
that question for me because I'm on Sons of Anarchy, one of the most violent shows on television
but you know
right
what?
now.
Oh, yeah, you can't talk about this. Matter of fact, I need to do a show with guns. Come and think about it.
Well,
I get a lot of shooting, too.
It is interesting. We're talking about gun violence.
So it's your
and
fault.
then we say, beat a kid.
Exactly.
But I'm just letting y'all know, when Sally kids get old and they get out of line, trust me, she'll be saying, Uncle Roro, can you take care of these kids? Because me and Dondre wasn't jacking them when they were younger. Okay, all right, go ahead and keep believing. They so sweet. Right, he'll keep smacking his sister. All right.
She afraid, though. She afraid.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it is
All
a
right. Believe that. Believe that. All right, folks, we are out of time. First of all, thank you so very much. We'd love to have you back again. Also, coming up, what projects you got coming up?
Pastor Brown.
February 16th, Lifetime. Watch it.
You have to watch it. Amazing. 8 p.m.
8 p.m. February 16th. February 16th.
February
Sorry,
16th on
Lifetime.
Lifetime. On Lifetime.
Shake it up for Disney and hope, God willing, love that girl back on TV1.
All right.
Yes, Bells, TV1, Friday at 10 o'clock, and Sex Executive Producer Nick Cannon's new film called School Dance, which will be out this summer.
All right, cool.
All righty.
All right, everybody got the shout-outs. We all straight. We all good. So we'll see you guys on social media. Thanks a bunch. We've been on Washington Watch.